Hello friends, it's Christine from Christine's Stamping Spot, back with you for another Mystery Monday video on Monday, June the 23rd. So we are going to take another look at this Impressions of Bloom bundle of products. It's got some terrific stamps and some even more amazing dies. You've got some nice ovals that you can use as backgrounds. You've got so many different kinds of blooms and centers and leaves. There's just so much you can do with this set, so it's worth another look. And we are also going to use the Coordinating Designer Series paper, which is this. And this is called the Floral Impressions Designer Series paper. There you go. Impressions of Bloom. Yeah. So this comes as a pack of 12, again, like normal, 12 by 12 sheets, but 2 of each pattern, and they are so beautiful. So I'm just going to quickly run these through so you can see them up close. So here we have a beautiful variegated sheet that has, a little bit of every sheet on it, and just a very subtle yellowish background. This, I believe, is our new Darling Duckling in color. So this paper does have some of the new in colors in it. This beautiful springy one, and some beautiful fresh freesia on the back with a bit of a pattern, so that's good for backgrounds. This really springy posy one with a bit of the strawberry slush on the back. This, I love this one. Got some of the misty moonlight in there, the fresh freesia, and just a greenish background. This one has some sunflowers. This I would use maybe more for fall, just because it's got some of the, a lot of the greenery and the sunflowers peeking through, and a very subtle pool party on the back. And then, of course, this one, which reminds me of sunflowers, even though they're not sunflowers, but they remind me of it, with the beautiful crushed curry in there, and another green background. So beautiful paper that can be used for just so many styles of cards. And this is the card we are going to make. So I'm calling it kind of a flap fold, because when you open it, it has this flap here on the left. Now, as we go through making it, I'm going to kind of throw another option in there for you. But we're going to recreate this, but we're going to use a different pattern of this designer paper, okay? And a few different colors. So we're just going to set that aside, and then we are going to start with a piece of Misty Moonlight. Now we're going to have to do a little bit of scoring as if we were making a Z fold card, and that is kind of the twist I wanted to talk about. So you're going to cut a piece of 8.5 by 5.5 is your base, our standard base, and I will post all these measurements on the post and on my YouTube channel if you want to check them out. So this is going to be scored at 2 1/8. Okay, so I'm just going to try to do that. Make sure your scoring blade is at the top, your cutting blade is at the bottom of your trimmer. So 2 1/8, and then again at 4 1/4. Okay. And then we have one more piece to score, so I might as well do that first. It's another piece of the Misty Moonlight. And this one is cut at, let me see, 5.5, no, is that right? Yes, 5.5 by 2 3, nope, not 2 3/4, 3 1/4. 5.5 by 3 1/4, and we're going to score it at the halfway mark, which is 2 3/4, if my math is correct. Which it is not always. So 2 3/4. Okay, so this we are going to need as well. Okay, so that's all the scoring you need to do. So then we're going to take our bone folder, and on our score lines, our center one, we're going to fold that in half. good burnish. And then on the one that is scored, you're going to fold that back. So what we are making here is our basic Z fold, okay? So when you fold it up, you can see that Z, however the Z looks. Maybe it's this way, Z. But I am not going to make it a Z fold card. But if you choose to, I'll show you some different options on how you can do that. So because I didn't score that very well. It's hanging over a little bit. So for our purposes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually adhere these two pieces together. Okay, so the front flap, I'm actually going to adhere together. But if you wanted to make a Z fold card, you would just leave it as is. Okay, so that way I get my flap like this. Okay, so now we are going to put a piece of basic white in here. And this is at 5 3/8 by 4. So we will put that in the inside of, this will be the inside of our card. Okay, so let's just line that up. And then we have to add some designer paper. Okay, so we need 3 pieces, one for the outside, the inside, and the inside. So instead of this pattern of that designer paper, I'm choosing that other one that had the fuchsia or the freesia and the misty moonlight. I think this is so, so pretty. So you're going to cut 3 of these, all at 5 3/8 by 2. Okay, so they're all the same. So one of them we will put on the outside flap here. And I don't think there's an up or down necessarily for this pattern. But if you do, like this one, for example, does have stems. So I tried to make sure that I cut it 2 across this way and 5 3/8 this way, because I didn't want my stems going sideways or upside down. So just be aware if you have a directional designer paper of how you're placing it in your paper trimmer. But this one, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so then this, we will put on that inside flap. Okay, so we will just put this here. And the last piece we will put right on the edge of this basic white. Okay, so we're going to line that up right at the edge. Hopefully none of that white will show through. And just line that up like so. So when you close it, you shouldn't really see any of that basic white there coming through. Okay, so now we are going to work on this flap. And this is the piece that we scored earlier, the Misty Moonlight. So we're just going to fold that in half and give it a burnish. Oh my gosh, my scoring is so off here. Look at that. Huh. I'm just going to trim that off because that is kind of bothering me. Because I didn't line that up quite right. So give me 1 second. We'll try to make it a little bit closer. Yeah, that's better. And then I'll fix that on the base later. Okay, so we have a piece that just folds like this. So if you wanted to make a Z fold card, what you would do is, if this flap was open, you would just put it on the very top like this. And then we will decorate that, and we will decorate the inside, okay? But because we are doing one that is not a Z fold, we are actually going to attach it like this. So kind of on both sides of that flap, okay? So we're going to decorate it first. So for the outside, I am going to stamp here like I did, thanks, and then on the inside, so very much. And those are from the stamp set, that particular stamp. It's thanks for being there, thanks so very much, or I appreciate you, so that's nice. So you will cut 2 identical pieces of basic white. And those are 3 by 2.5, I believe, but I'm going to stamp on these before I put them on, just in case I mess up, which has been known to happen many times. Okay, so I'm going to do this in the tuxedo black, and I'm just going to stamp the thanks towards the top. And the so very much, I'll probably do more towards the top as well. Or you could do it in the center or wherever you would like to do it. Okay, so that's all the stamping we need to do. So let's start with this piece. Now I think I will put them on because we can add our flowers. It might be easier to add them when this is already on. So just make sure that you've got the thanks on the left-hand side here. And the so very much will be on the right side. Okay. And your crease will be going down sort of as a mountain fold. Okay, you're not going to do it like this unless you're doing it on the Z fold card, where you would need an extra piece of white on the front, and then you could have the thanks on the front. Okay, so you just have to play with it. All right, so I've gone ahead and used some of those dies to cut some flowers. So let's see which ones. No, maybe I'll do these on the outside and these on the inside, and then we have some leaves. Okay, so what's interesting about these dies is when they come out, you've got these embossed images, like not images, but the embossed pattern transfers to the flower. So that's what it looks like. So you're, in essence, it's a 2-part die where one is the image and one will just cut out, and you layer them together on your paper. So to make that a little more self-explanatory, this is the piece that does all the embossing, and this one would fit around it. You would place it on your paper, cut side down, cut it out, and basically only this piece here is doing the cutting. This is centerpiece is just doing the embossing. Okay, and that's how all 3 of those flower patterns work. Okay, so you can arrange your flowers any way you like. I think I'm going to add, do I want to raise these? All of them? Maybe I will. On my sample, I didn't. I put this one flat, but I think I will put dimensionals on all of them this time. And just pop them up a little bit. I think it should still be fine. It'll make putting the leaves, tucking those underneath a little bit easier. Okay, so let's put this one here. And then our pink one. Our Pretty in Pink, which I love, is one of last year's in colors, but it's such a beautiful pink. I really, really like it. It used to be, of course, one of our regular colors before the color transformation that happened a few years ago. Okay, so that'll be our outside. And then the inside, we will do the same with these dimensionals. So I'll put one maybe here, and the other smaller one. Now you can add whichever shape of flower. If you want the larger flower, if you want them all the same color, like you have so many options, right? And then we have some leaves. Now we have a couple of different leaf dies. So let me just show you what they are like. Oh, and these centers are also the same type of die as well. You've got small flower centers or the large ones. So these are the same. Where is the other one? Maybe I don't have the other one. Maybe they just all cut out the same. No, they don't. I know they don't. Okay, so you have 2 different leaf dies. Okay, so I'm just going to show you. So this one cuts out your leaf, just a solid leaf. This one is the same as the flowers. You have the inside, if you can see that. The inside is the embossed section, and this is the part that cuts out the actual leaf. Okay, so you have those. And so this is how they would come out, very detailed. Okay, this is the one with the embossed in the center. And I have just a regular one. I think I might have cut out mostly all those because they all look the same. Oh, this might be one that's just a regular one. Is it right? Yeah, it's got just some embossing there, but it's not quite as detailed. Okay, so let's add some of these leaves behind our flowers. Okay, and wherever you like. Okay, so I'm just going to add one there. And we'll put another one under here. And let's see where we can squeeze this one in. It's not a very large surface, but maybe I'll just put it here at the top, just so we have a little bit of green showing, right? And then we'll do the same for our other side. Okay, so maybe we'll put one here. And another one. Let's do it this way. And if it hangs over, it's okay because there's still room for that on the card base. Okay, and then we'll put this one just sort of next to it there. Okay, just so we have a little bit of green there. Okay, so now we're going to attach this piece onto our flap. So ideally, when your card is closed, you want this to be centered, right? So I'm just sort of eyeballing it, and the only place you want to put adhesive is behind here on this half, because if you do there, I guess it's not the end of the world if it all sticks together because it's one big flap, right? I guess you could do that. But you'd have to make sure that you only put adhesive on this part so it's separated, right? Okay, so how about we put some adhesive here. Maybe one more strip, and we're going to just eyeball this centered. Okay, so I'm going to center it sort of like that and press this part down. Okay, and then this side we can put some adhesive here and just press it over and press it down, and there you go. There is your flap card. Thanks so very much. And use whatever color palette you like. It's just such pretty paper. You can pull any sort of color out of it for whatever design you'd like to make. So I hope you enjoyed that project, and I am going to be away for a couple of weeks, so I probably won't have videos for about the next 2 Mondays, but I will be back after that, and we will definitely see you then. Have a great week, everyone. Bye for now.